Hey you guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the prep rally. I'm apologizing in advance. My lawn guy is here as usual. I don't record at any particular time, but for some reason, every single time I'm about to record, he's here, whether it's Thursday or Friday. So maybe he comes both days. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys what we are making in today's prep rally. This is week 18. So we've been doing this for 18 weeks now officially. Thank you so much for being here. Everything is on prepandrally.com. If you are just tuning in now for the first time, you could get these PDFs sent to you every single week with brand new menus, recipes, and menus for the week. So here is week 18. Check it out. We are doing some almond flax chicken nuggets. We have these yummy cauliflower seitan tacos, which I could not stop eating. Obsessed. This unbelievable salami hash and a beautiful Cobb salad bowl. So lots of really, really great flavors going on this week. As usual, we save time, we save money, and we save our sanity by meal prepping. And this week is a really good one. So I'm really excited you're here. Let's get this going because it really just takes like an hour to hour and a half, but today is going to be an hour kind of day. I feel it, even under. So let's get to it. Also, if you have never yet signed up and aren't sure you want to commit yet, head to prepandrally.com. There is a free PDF that you could sign up for. And there is also an ebook that we just put out that has 3 of our absolute fan favorite meal prep menus that you could purchase for $11.99. So you could do that before committing to the weekly plan or the monthly plan or the year plan or 6-month plan. So without further ado, let's get going. So each PDF has a shopping list, as you see here. So by now you should have shopped your shopping list. I always do some pre-prep, so I set up all the little sections throughout my kitchen to get through everything really, really easily. So just be sure to do that. This shows you what we're actually making today for the Sunday prep. And then all week long, you simply take these items and assemble them all week long. You guys know the drill. All right, so the first thing we're making sticky beets, then we're doing the cauliflower and tempeh, then the potatoes, broccoli, pickled onions, ranch, and then the almond flax chicken, okay? Let's get to it. All righty, here we go. So let's get these sticky beets in the oven. So I have a sheet pan right over here, as you guys see. I've lined mine with tin foil, but you can line it with parchment paper, anything you like, or just go directly on your pan. I have a mix of yellow beets and purple beets. They're so beautiful. They are so flavorful. I used to make this for clients weekly just because they are so good. They're so healthy for you. And when prepared this way, even kids like them because they get really caramelized, super, super sweet. They're delicious. And I like the mixture of the yellow and the red or purple. I never know if people call things purple or red. It's actually funny. Like an onion, like what do you call it? Purple onion, red onion? I don't know. I do both, apparently. It just depends on the time and the place. So all you're going to do here is just cut them into little cubes. So I've cut them in half. No, actually no. I cut slices first. And then I put the slices down, cut it the opposite direction, and then turn it again, cut the opposite direction so you get these little cubes. And beets take a really long time to cook. We don't want to spend all day in the kitchen waiting for these to cook. So cut them rather small. The smaller you cut them, the faster they will cook and caramelize and get beautiful. They do take a while, so go small. Another thing you could do if you wanted to speed this up, if you really didn't have that much time to wait, you could even wrap these in some tin foil and let them steam first in the oven for the first like 20-30 minutes. And then you can cut them and then roast them at high temperature so that they get really sticky and caramelized rather than steaming. So you really get all of that accomplished in a lot less time. So we could do that. I'm just gonna go with it roasted straight up in small little cubes. So here's my yellow beet, and I've peeled these as well. You don't want to keep the peels in the beets. They're just kind of like rough and fibrous and dirty. So peel those guys. And again, every single recipe, this entire meal prep plan is all available for you. Prepandrally.com. It's $11.99 for the month-to-month plan. It's $59.99 for the 6-month plan. And it's $99.99 for the full year plan. So choose what works best for you. I know any kind of subscription, I'm always hesitant to join just because they're recurring and you're just not sure about it. But I promise you here, you will be saving money and the subscription's gonna pay for itself. I'm teaching you all my tips and tricks to saving so much time, so much money. We're going to grocery store one time a week for everything that we need. Everything that we buy has a purpose and has a repurpose. So you're saving so much money. And it's also teaching you how to think in this way going forward so that you can continue to live in this way and save a ton of time and money. So trust me when I say you're going to end up saving money. So don't look at the price tag on the meal prep plans. Just know that after a week or two of doing this, you're going to be making that money back. Another reason why is because every time I recipe test for a new menu, I'm using what I have in my kitchen. I'm not running out to go buy something specific unless it's like produce or unless I'm really out of something. But for the most part, I'm using my freezer staples and my pantry staples, things that I have on hand and that you end up having on hand after doing this for a couple of weeks. So like apple cider vinegar and soy sauce and rice wine vinegar, things like that that we use week to week to week. Those are things that you already have in your pantry. So you don't need to buy those every single week. All right. Plus, there are always modifications. So if you didn't want to use a certain ingredient, or if you already have a different kind of chicken in your freezer, you wanted to use that instead, by all means, go right ahead. And we have a private Facebook group, so you can always join in there and ask either me or everybody else in the group who's super helpful and informative tips and advice. And it's really an amazing community. All right, let me wash my hands real quick. Beets are so red, my lord, they sting you like crazy. Okay, beautiful. All you're gonna do with these beets, we're just doing some salt and pepper, simple. People are always like, ooh, what do you put on your roasted vegetables? And I'm like, oh, it's salt and olive oil. So if you're a Sabbath observer, what I do, I call it a roasting special. And every single Friday, I literally just take every single vegetable I have in the house, and like bits of leftovers, really anything, and I just throw it on a sheet pan just like this with some olive oil, salt, pepper. Sometimes I'll feel a little bit crazy and I'll add some garlic powder, onion powder, you name it. Get super fancy over there and do all kinds of spice combos, but you just roast, get in the habit of roasting. Sheet pans are your best friend, and it just makes things super sticky and sweet and caramelized because it releases all those sugars. It gets crispy, which everybody loves. And it's just a great thing to know how to do, just to roast vegetables. It seems simple, but you'd be surprised how few people actually do it often or know how to do it. All right, that's it. So I spread this out on my sheet pan. We're gonna pop this in the oven, which I preheated. Should have told you that, sorry guys. 400 degrees for about an hour or so. And they're gonna get sticky and golden and beautiful. And if midway through while they're cooking, you wanna just give them a little toss around and shake, go for it. Check it in like 40 minutes or so. Let's get it in. Hi, Mr. Long Guy. I told you, he's like always here. It's like a joke. I think he just loves his little blower thingy, and he ends up being here for like 4 hours. So no matter what time I'm meal prepping throughout the day, he's just here all freaking day. Ah, so annoying. Okay, I'll pass in a couple of minutes. Fret not. All right, next up, we're gonna get our cauliflower in that same exact oven. I have a second rack in there. We're gonna get this in at. I have some cauliflower that I've just cut up into little florets. You could cut it up even smaller if you'd like. Oh, I have beets all over my knife, which is totally fine, but if you don't want to make your cauliflower all red or purple, just give it a little wipe off. Okay, and cut them so that they're all pretty even. All right, I have some Romanesco cauliflower here, which is kind of like a cauliflower and a broccoli had a baby. It's what my store had, and it happens to be a really beautiful vegetable, and it has a little bit more bite and a little bit firmer than cauliflower. And it's just, it really, really is such a beautiful vegetable. If you could get it, why not? Switch things up a little bit. But seriously, look how pretty that is. You see that? Okay. Good. I think we're pretty even. And the reason you want to make sure this is all even, you want things to cook at an even temperature, and you don't want some to be raw and some to be super soft. So try to make it as even as you can. Okay? You can even buy these pre-cubed if you like to, pre-floretted. All right, so here we go. The seitan. Okay, so we're roasting the cauliflower because that's going to go on our taco. So we're going to spice this up for like taco flavor. We're also going to be adding some seitan, which is a wheat product. So if you're gluten-free, you could omit this, or you could do tofu instead, which is soy, not wheat. But seitan happens to be wheat, super, super high in protein. And I've just thrown this in here because, first of all, we're killing two birds with one stone. We're already roasting and seasoning the cauliflower. So I figured why not just do the same thing with the seitan, and both will go into your taco. So if you have some family members that don't necessarily want the seitan, you could just make it half-half so that they're not mixed together, or you can just mix the cauliflower and seitan together. Totally up to you. Okay, so just give these a little rough chop so that's also kind of even. They kind of crumble a little bit on their own. Just run your knife through it just in case it's not. Beautiful. I love seitan. I think it's so good. It has such nice bite to it. It's chewy. It has that like meaty flavor that you want without it being meat. So it's always nice to have something meatless, but you still gotta have some protein in there to make it feel like a complete meal. I've also done these tacos with shredded beef. So if you did get the mellow, you could just do barbecue sauce, or what I did is teriyaki sauce mixed with chipotle and adobo sauce together. I don't know if you saw in my Instagram stories a couple weeks ago. Put that together with some brisket or short ribs in the mellow. Unreal, okay? You could use any sous vide to do that, but it's kind of like a smoky, spicy barbecue sauce that I came up with just because that's what I had in my fridge. But it was unreal, and we shredded it and served it in these tacos as like a Friday night dinner. It was so fun. Everyone got to make their own. It was really pretty awesome. All right, here we go. Did I salt the beets? I can't remember. I hope so. I don't remember. Do you guys remember? If not, you want to salt your beets. Hopefully I did. Okay. So, nice amount of salt over there. We have some coriander, smoked paprika, cumin, and garlic powder. These are the spices that I happen to love. You can use any that you like or omit any that you like. There are no rules here ever. Ever, ever, ever. If you don't like something, or your kids don't like something, or you're nervous about something, go with your gut. Your gut is your best friend and knows you best, okay? So here we go. Here's the cumin. So just give a nice, even coating throughout. Cumin smells good. That's really how you get that Mexican-y taco kind of flavor. I have some smoked paprika. If you don't like the smoky kind, you can go regular. Also, like, don't feel like you need to ever run out to buy a specific spice. I mean, I think it's great to have all spices because you just never know when you're going to use them again. They don't go bad, so why not just have them and keep them forever? Smoked paprika smells really good. So, yeah, and spices are a really, really great way to make food have flavor, obviously, and also to give them flavor with very little fat, because it just adds a flavor boost. Same with like citrus and herbs. Those are other really great ways to just amp up any dish and do it with very little fat or calories. All right, so give this a mix around. Here we go. It smells really good. The spice blend is beautiful. What you could even do is make your own spice blends. You can even find some great spice blend ideas online and create your own little containers of these spice blends so that when you are in a little bit of a rush and want to just make something really flavorful and yummy, you can have your own little spice blend you throw on it. So get creative with it, okay? Lovely. All right, these are all mixed. Make sure that oil and the spices, make sure everything is incorporated. If you wanted to keep the seitan separate from the cauliflower, go right ahead. If you want to leave out the seitan, just do an extra head of cauliflower if you want. Okay, wash your hands. Do. Lovely. And then the next thing we're going to work on, let me check, I'm not even sure. let's see what's next. And you guys know I always keep a garbage right by my workstation right over here, so you can just throw things out easily. And then I always have a towel as well, so that you don't have to run back and forth a million times. Cauliflower, pop that in that same oven. It's gonna cook for, let's see what I said, like 40 minutes or so. Pop it in the oven. I'm gonna set my timer as well. All right, set the timer for 40 minutes. Another little tip I wanted to just share, if you guys have convection roast in your oven, get in the habit of using it when you're roasting vegetables. I always do like 370 convection roast. It takes half the amount of time as using the regular bake mode. Whenever I'm recipe testing or doing anything here, I always use the regular bake mode because that's what most people have. If you do have convection roast, try it. Try roasting some vegetables on your baking sheet at like 370 convection roast. You will see how quickly things crisp up and get golden and beautiful. So before I turn this on, the next thing we're gonna do is get our potatoes boiling. So simple. I've just filled a pot halfway with water, and we are just going to turn the heat up, bring that water to a boil, and then you're gonna let those potatoes cook until they're nice and soft, and then we're gonna remove them from there, okay? It should take about like 15 minutes or so. You know it's ready when you pierce it with a fork. That is how you will know. Okay, I'm just following on my PDF. I just realized you can't even see me on my computer here. The camera is like more this way. But I figured it's better for you to be able to see more of the stovetop. Okay, so I also got a new tripod, which I'm really excited about. It's holding my phone really nicely. Before it would like tip, so I had to like put a book there to like secure it. It was such a mess. This is actually a really good one, and yeah, it's working. Thank God. Okay, making it happen. Next up, we have some more vegetables. I know it seems like a lot of vegetables, but if you're like my family, we go through lots of vegetables. We're obsessed with vegetables. Any leftovers can be a frittata the next morning. It could go into a scrambled egg. It could go into a quesadilla for lunch, green bowls for lunch. Think creatively. Come up with different ways to use leftovers if you have them. But even just for dinner, you guys will probably go through all this just because when you do roast, they reduce in size and they shrivel up, and then you're going to pick on it after you're done meal prepping today. So you're going to thank me. But yeah, meal prepping is all about, you know, cooking in bulk. Obviously, you're already cooking. Why not do a lot of it so you have enough for the week? And these sheet pan vegetables, which they're just so versatile and so good to just have on hand for just eating healthy all week long. Broccoli over here, I just cut them into florets as well, and we're just going to do some olive oil, salt, pepper. These are only going to need to roast at like the same oven, 400 degrees for like 20 minutes or so. If you have another rack in your oven or you have a second oven, you can put this in at the same time. I, for some reason, don't have another rack, which is annoying. So I'm going to wait for my cauliflower to come out, and then I will throw this in after that. So just season it with some olive oil and your salt. If you want to do some additional spices, go right ahead and give it a mix around. Yes. Okay, give that a mix around, and now pop this in the oven at the same time as your other stuff for like 20 minutes, or set it aside until that comes out and then stick this in afterwards, okay? All right, next up, pickled onions, okay? These are my favorite, you guys know that. We're gonna get started with some pickled onions over here. We currently have the cauliflower and tempeh in the oven. We also have the beets in the oven, and we have our potatoes coming to a boil and our broccoli standing by, and it's been like, what, 20 minutes, okay? That is how we prep and rally. All right, here we go. I have some, and you guys know these pickled onions. We do these all the time. They just enhance any meal prep because they make everything so much better. When you put a pickled onion in like a grain bowl or in a sandwich, it just enhances everything. So all you're gonna do, we're gonna bring some liquid to a boil, and then we're gonna fill up our jar with our pickled onions. Again, you could do this with any vegetable. I have my rice wine vinegar in my pan, in my pot here. You have a small pot. And pickled vegetables, these are the ones that I do all the time. You guys know the drill. You could put anything you like in them. So if you have some random cucumbers that you want to get rid of, random carrots, what else? You could do jalapenos. Like, there are no rules here, and everything goes, and everything is delicious when it's pickled. So feel free to play around. Use this pickling liquid, and then just throw any vegetable or your onions, as in today's case, into your jar. And you have an amazing thing to go along with your meal prep every single week. It just enhances every dish, whether it's, you know, a burger or a pizza or a grain bowl. It doesn't matter what it is. Throw something pickled on it for that tangy, yummy, briny bite. I mean, you can't beat that. Especially like a taco. These are gonna be so good. Whenever I make them, like we go through them in like 2 days. We're obsessed. All right, so we have our water here starting to come to a boil with our potatoes. So keep an eye on that, and then once it starts boiling, you could lower it a little bit, let them boil until they get nice and soft. And I just have 2 red onions here, or purple onions. I never know. What do we call them? Okay, I'm lowering this boil a little bit. Let that keep cooking until they're soft. So I'm cutting each onion in half. How beautiful. I mean, nature is just so pretty, right? Cutting each one in half, and then cut into thin slices, just like this. And all you're gonna do is just fill this little jar. I have these linked on the shop section on my website. They're my favorite ever. I have them in 2 sizes, in this size and then the half size. Use them every single week for dressings, for sauces, for pickles, for soups, you name it. I throw everything into these. They're like the perfect size. I'm obsessed. You just want to get stuff actually in the jar and not all over your counter. Okay? Cool. Here we go. Put all this in there. Yum. And also, like, I don't love a raw onion, but pickling things just takes it to a whole new level, and it tones down that strong onion flavor that stays in your breath all day long. Yeah. This makes it so much more enjoyable to eat. And that's also why a lot of salad dressings, you'll see, like, if you have minced shallots or something, some recipes will say to, like, put that into the salad dressing and let it sit for a little bit before you put the rest of the ingredients. Or even if you are just putting shallots in your dressing, period, it'll tone down that flavor. It's not going to be this, like, strong onion because the acid helps break it down. So it makes it a lot more enjoyable to eat. It's not so potent. All right, push all that down there, and you'll see once you get that hot liquid in there, it's going to really melt down, and it'll break down these onions. Okay, so that's it. Onions are in. Give your hands a rinse if you need. And we're going to pour our hot liquid in, and this is called a quick pickle. Most pickles you have to sit in like your windowsill, and you have to let it cook. You have to let it sit for a couple weeks, and then until you could actually use them. This is a quick pickle, so you're heating up this liquid. It's just about to come to a boil. I've added my maple syrup, my rice wine vinegar, and my salt. You could add any other spices here if you like. You could add coriander, you could add cloves, you could add whatever, sugar if you wanted. And all you're gonna do, check it out, is just pour that liquid all over. Oh my God, that smells so good. These are so good. Also, another really low-fat thing that you could do to really enhance any dish. Just adds a really fun flavor, and it excites your taste buds, which is what eating healthy is all about. Okay, set this aside and let that do its thing. Next thing we're gonna do is get started on our ranch salad dressing. I'm all about homemade dressings and sauces. Yes, you could buy them, and yes, there are healthy alternatives out there, but they add up. You can make your own at home, save a ton of money, know exactly what's going into it, and customize it any way you like. So here we go. I have another, this is the small container, by the way. This is the large one. That's the small one, so it's just the half size. I do all my dressings in here every single week. These are called the La Parfait containers, and they are linked on prepandrely.com in the shop section. Get yourself a set of each of these. They are going to be your life every single week. All right, here we go. So I have my 1/4 cup of almond milk over here. We're gonna add our mayo to this. I just bought this, so I have to open it up. They make these things so impossible to open, don't they? I always end up sticking my knife in it because I can never just pull a little tab. Never works. Okay, so you're doing about 1 cup of mayo. Some people were asking for alternatives. You could use like a healthier version of a mayo or a veganaise. Some people were saying you could do like a sour cream. You could even use like a Greek yogurt. Yeah, Greek. Greek yogurt. That could possibly work. It may change the texture a little bit, make it more of like a tzatziki, like tangy kind of sauce, but that totally works and it would be delicious, and I would add a ton of protein. So adjust any way you need, especially with a salad dressing. You could really play around, even if you're not as confident about something. Taste it. That's the only way you're gonna know. So try something, taste it. You could usually adjust to make it work. If for some reason it is too salty or it is too tangy, you can always kind of fix that. And if you do need help with that, you can always reach out, and I'm happy to put in my 2 cents and help you figure out how to make it work, okay? So we have some fresh chives here going in. I love fresh chives. They're so yummy. And some fresh parsley as well. If you wanted to just do all of this straight in the immersion blender, by all means you can do that. I am not today, I don't know why, but I'm in the mood to chop, and it's not even that much stuff that you have to chop anyways, so it's fine. But just know that you can do it in the food processor or the immersion blender. I'm just gathering this together. And curly parsley, flat parsley, doesn't really matter here. I mean, the flavor is exactly the same to me. I don't know if there's supposed to be a flavor difference, but it's the exact same thing. I usually buy flat leaf for some reason, but this is what my Whole Foods guy sent me. And it's totally fine. It smells exactly the same. Just looks different. So flat leaf parsley just presents a little prettier, I think. Just the smell of parsley always reminds me of my dad, because like every Friday night he would just be like reading a book on the couch with a big bunch of parsley and just nibbling. He's like a little bunny. Smell always reminds me of him. My God. Okay, here we go. Wash those hands. And next up, we're gonna add our 1 lemon. You give it a little roll, get the juices going, and squeeze it in there. You could put your hand underneath it to catch the seeds. I see 2 seeds here. I'm just gonna catch it like that. But feel free to use your hand. Beautiful. This one doesn't even have that many pits. Oh, there's one. Hold on. Okay. Perfect. And here we go. Garlic powder, onion powder, salt. Boop. Guys, we're banging this out. We already have so much going. We're all about just maximizing time, getting through this as easily as quickly as possible, because no one wants to mess around, which is why sheet pan vegetables are so great. And having the order in which to cook everything so that you are most efficient, having the knife skills, which you guys have showed a ton of interest in. I'm going to be rolling out some videos on Instagram with those videos, and on YouTube as well. Okay, here we go. You can do some black pepper if you want. I'm not right now. I'm not in the mood, but you can. Apple cider vinegar right here. It's just about done. And mustardo, mustard. Mike hates mustard. I love mustard. It's our life. So do what you like. You could add it or not. I don't think he's going to be eating this anyways, because he also doesn't like herbs, as you guys know. So we're going all mustardy. You could just close your container and shake it, or just give it a little mix around like this. You guys are going to love this salad dressing. Seriously, it is so good. You could put it on anything. You're going to use this as a dip for your chicken nuggets, which we're making next. And for your Cobb salad bowls on Wednesday. If you wanted to make it thicker or thinner, either add water to it to thin it out, or more apple cider vinegar, or lemon if you wanted to make it thicker. Add more mayo or Greek yogurt if you're adding that. Oh my God, so good. So good. Here we go. Here we go. All right, seal it up. Done. And the last thing we need to do is our almond, flax, chicken nuggets. All right, so get all these spices out of the way and bring over your dredging stations. So I am all about being eco-friendly and green and all that. But when it comes to dredging stations, meaning when like you're coating something like chicken or fish, doing like a breadcrumb, you're doing stations, I love using paper because it's just so messy, and being able to just throw the like plates of the flour and the egg out is just the easiest, most convenient thing in the world to me. So I will buy paper goods just for dredging stations. Okay, so as you see, I have my flours, I have my eggs, and we got our chicken. Okay, So first of all, check on your cauliflower and your beets. Everything is looking good. It's still cooking. I'm going to make all my chicken, and I'm actually going to place it into a bowl for right now. If you have another baking sheet, you could lay parchment on it and get your chicken on there, and you could actually bake it today. If you want, you could bake it, you could cover it uncooked and then cook it fresh the next day. You know what? Check it out. I'm actually going to put it on here. I did have one. Okay, hold on. Line your baking sheet. Line your baking sheet with some foil or a parchment. And we're going to make these nuggets. So again, you could cook these fresh today according to the directions. Or if you wanted to, you can simply cover it tightly, store it in your fridge, and then right before you're about to serve them, you can cook them so that they're completely fresh. Totally your call. Totally your call. All right, I like to use little handy dandy little tongs because it just makes it really helpful and it keeps my hands clean while you are dredging the chicken. So I have my mixture of the almond meal and the flax, and flax is so healthy for you. Tons of healthy fatty oils in there, a lot of fiber, so it's really good for you. And same with the almonds. I mean, the almond meal, so good for you. Your kids are going to love these. The adults are going to love these. It's kind of a win for everybody. You could season the flour with anything you like. I just did garlic powder and salt, but throw any spices in there. You could do rosemary, you could do paprika. There's no wrong answer here. These just make really yummy, moist, and crispy at the same time chicken nuggets that are really healthy and that you could really feel good about giving your family. Okay? So here we go. Here's how it works. This is called le dredging station. Okay, you go into your, hold on, let me get rid of this. This is the last thing we're doing. Can you believe it? Pretty stinking sweet. Before we continue, pause 1 second. Sorry. It's all about doing a lot of things in the kitchen at the same time. So make sure pierce one of your potatoes, see if it's ready. My fork did not go through, so that means it is not ready for me yet. All right, so you're gonna coat these in egg, and I've taken my egg and added a little bit of water to it. That just helps it go a little bit farther without having to add so much extra egg. I'm also spraying my sheet pan with an oil, and I like using spray because it gives nice, even distribution. It's even really good for like roasting vegetables. I know it gets expensive to have to buy it in the little spray containers, but if you are on a diet or want to just watch your oil intake, it's a really great way to make sure you have total coverage without a lot of excess oil. So it's a really little smart hack to start using that whenever you need to roast something in oil. Plus it just makes it easy because it just distributes really evenly. So I coat the bottom of the pan with it, and I'm also going to spray the tops with it as well, and this way you don't have to flip the chicken throughout because everything will just get golden because you've sprayed everything. All right, so just dip yourself in the egg and then into this flour mixture. Okay, I didn't measure my flour mixture because I never do, but I should have. I may need more. I also bought, my chicken breasts were like massive. I had like never seen such big chicken pieces. It was insane. So depending on how big yours are, you may need more, but you can always just add in extra flour, extra egg if you ever need. Okay? So just keep going until your whole pan is filled. And my kids are obsessed with these. Yes, randomly they will ask for like the star-shaped chicken nuggets or the dinosaurs because they're kids and they see their friends with them. But I literally have bought them once in my life, and it's only because we were hosting a meal and there was like a bunch of kids that just didn't eat anything, and I was really nervous, and I just didn't want to upset those kids. It wasn't for my kids. So I just did it because I was just scared they wouldn't have anything to eat, even though I don't believe in it. So, but if you do have those chicken nuggets, I am not putting you to shame, and I am not judging at all. I'm just saying these are so good, and you could even make them in bulk and freeze them, and they're actually super healthy for you. Okay, so yeah, I didn't measure my flour, but you should probably have a lot more flour mixture than I did if you measured. Okay, here we go. How are we all doing? Are you guys doing okay? We're almost done. Let's go through what we have so far. We made I'm just adding extra flour ingredients. Pause. Hold on. Okay. I also keep my leftover flax in the fridge. It helps keep it stay a little bit longer. They also say like nuts and stuff like that, and even like nut flours you should keep in your fridge as well. It just keeps things fresher. Oh, and here's another one of those containers. I keep dry ingredients in there as well. I love these containers. Obsessed. Okay. Just give that little mix around again. Season it with some salt and the garlic powder. All right, back to business. So, what was I saying? I don't remember. Okay, well, anyways, my kids love these. They're just really good. And a great thing, you could obviously serve these with ketchup for your kiddos, but they're also really good. I used to make a smoky ketchup, which is just ketchup with a little bit of smoked paprika. It's just the easiest way to spruce up something that you already have and make it appeal to kids and adults even more so. Super fun. Okay, so just get these all coated. Oh, that's what we're gonna do. I was gonna tell you what we have going in the oven. We're gonna recap. So we have the beets roasting. We have the cauliflower and seitan also roasting in the oven. It should take about another 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes. But keep things going depending on how thick or thin your pieces are. Vegetables, you know, depending on how thin or thick you cut everything, it'll make the cook time vary. So be sure to adjust as needed. Any recipe, when it says cook 20 minutes, every oven's different. Every person's meat is different. Every cut's different. So there's so many variables that there's no foolproof way to just say this amount or that amount. Even when you say one egg, they're extra large eggs or extra small eggs or organic eggs. So it's always different. Juice of one lemon. You know, every lemon is a different size. So you know what I'm saying, right? Okay, we have the potatoes boiling as well. We have the broccoli standing by. We have our ranch made. We have pickled onions. And we have the best chicken ever. Where am I putting these? Hold on, I need a second sheet pan. 2 sheet pans for this. At least mine, because this chicken was massive. And I could not believe how big this was. Okay, so just give these all a mix around. Place them in the flour. You should have 6 chicken breasts here. Mine really felt like 8 because they were just so stinking large. Okay, here we go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to, and here's a good little hack for you, finish breading all of these. And then when like the cauliflower or something comes out of the oven, what I'm gonna do is remove the cauliflower into a baking dish and into a storage container. And then I'm gonna use that same sheet pan that's already oiled and lined with foil and roast the second batch that I'm doubling over right now on that sheet pan. Okay, so just for now, I'm just sticking these on top of the other chicken pieces. I'm not gonna spray it with my oil until I put them in to the oven, because right now they're all kind of on top of each other. So make sure they're spread out to be a single layer so that you get nice even coverage and they form a nice crispy crust. And what's so funny about tongs, whenever you're breading things, they just end up making like layers. Because you have breading egg, breading egg, breading egg. There's tons and tons of layers on these tongs. So funny, but it's better on there than on your hands. If I do it with my hands, I always have one wet hand and one dry hand, and you pass it between the two, and that way you don't end up with a big clumpy mess on your hands or tongs. So, all right, we did it. That's it. And the best part about all this obviously we have to wash, but these 3, I don't want to promote paper goods, but that's just the easiest thing in the world, right? It's worth it. Okay. All right, give your hands a rinse, and I think we're done, you guys. That is all. This chicken we will cook once everything else comes out if you do have a second oven, which I am missing, we used to have one, I don't anymore, you could throw that all in right now, but you're gonna bake this at 425 for about 25 to 30 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, okay? Depending on the size of your chicken. So make sure you separate it in between 2 baking sheets, single layer, spray it really, really well with your oil, and then bake it until crisp, or alternatively, cover it tightly, cook it before you're about to serve it the day of, so it's super fresh. That is it. Let me feel the potatoes need another 2 minutes. So keep an eye on your potatoes. When they are done, just drain off that water, let them cool, and then store them. That is it. We have our yummy pickled onions. Let these cool also before sealing them. We have the chicken, we have the potatoes, we have the broccoli, we have the cauliflower with the seitan, and of course we have the sticky beets. You guys are going to love this week. I can't wait to see everything. Share your pictures at Prep and Rally on Instagram. Send them in. I cannot wait to see how it all goes for you. Enjoy, you guys. Bye.